heroes rise, the dying words to modern skies. Crushing them with power we fight, strength that breaks unite in the night. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story told in this love imagination mode. With every stroke, adventures unfold, Minis and muscles, heart and soul. Guidance in hand and worlds to explore. Roll the future, hear the dice roll. Gaming realms of muscles drawn. Together in this place where we belong. Joining spells, casting dreams until the dawn. Leveling up and the world to follow. With painted heroes shining bright. Venturing onward in the endless time. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story's told in the storm of imagination mode. With every stroke, the fantasy unfold. These are my soul, our soul. Where the brawn meets the brawn, the story's told in the storm of imagination mode. With every stroke, the fate to light for face of my soul, our soul.
Yo, yo, yo! We are here! We are Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's just turn on the music. How are we all? I had a bit of a nightmare today. Forgot what the time was. Was carried away doing other stuff, work stuff, and then didn't realise what I was doing. And all of a sudden then I was like, oh crap, it's 7 PM almost. And I'm like, scrabbling around trying to make the thumbnail and do this and do that. So apologies for the about 30 seconds or so lateness of myself today. I hope you're well. Let's move this cable out of the way. Fingers crossed we've got enough battery power to keep going. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday. Welcome to the only place you need to be on a Friday. That's here with me, Steve, on Minis and Muscles, the place where the brawn meets the brush. I'll say that one more time. The brawn meets the brush. I love that catchphrase. It's pretty good, right? I hope you're all well. I hope you're keeping in tip-top condition. That's physically and mentally. How are you all? It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week. So a big pat on the back for everybody that's made it to the end of the week. For those that are still slaving away, working, whether that is the fact that you've got to work this weekend, or perhaps that it's that you are in the US and you're still working, because some of our viewers are in the US. I think quite a few of our regulars actually are quite in the US. So yes, hopefully your weekend is closer every second, and fingers crossed you can listen to Minis and Muscles in the background, and we can have a good old chinwag and enjoy the sort of entryway to our weekend of geekery, and hopefully it's a weekend of geekery for you. So let me just spin back to my agenda. I hope you're all well and I hope you're all good. Let's think about what's happened over the past week. So we always do a quick little recap. I have managed to play Warhammer this week and Dungeons and Dragons, so it's pretty geek packed. So Warhammer played Warhammer during the week actually this week, and I've also got a game tomorrow. And I played a buddy of mine who's got Grey Knights, got out the Sisters of Battle, and they won. I was very happy with that, so it's a good win for the Sisters. Very tactical game, very cautious, very tactical. Because me and my friends are fairly new at playing Warhammer. Not necessarily painting them, just playing Warhammer. So it's actually getting to grips now with the tactics of how to actually play, rather than just going, I want to kill everything and shoot everything. So it's quite interesting. So that was good. What else? On Tuesday this week, played Dungeons and Dragons. That was really cool. So a friend of mine is just running sort of like a mini campaign for a few of us. So that was cool. And a lot of good little bits of role play in there, and a good little laugh. Dungeons and Dragons is always good just to get a group of people together just to geek out and have a good crack. Kill a few bad guys, solve a few puzzles, find a few interesting items, and then move on. So that was really good. So I'm enjoying that so far. My character, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it before. I think I might have mentioned it. My character is blind. Right, so he's blind. He's like a 350 pounds, a big fat guy, and he's blind. And he's called Willie Johnson. So it's quite hilarious for just the sort of silliness of the fact that there's this blind guy that's in this party, and he's trying to do this, and any sort of conversation when they're talking and referencing something that they're looking at, I'm like, I can't see. What? You have to go and tell me what it is. So it's quite hilarious. So that's good. What else? I'm just trying to think what else has gone on this week. Oh, tomorrow, playing Warhammer again with another buddy of mine. So I get to roll out the Space Marines this weekend and just have a test with those, and a bit of a test sort of run-in with my Ultramarine army because that's coming along. And then Sunday, I've got a retro gaming event to go to, so that's really cool. So I will be going to that. Very excited to go to that and see what little gems I can find from my Nintendo. That'll be super cool. But yeah, that's about it for the summary of the week and what I've been doing. What have you guys been doing? If you are watching along live, drop it in the chat. Let me know what you are doing. It'll be good to hear from you. If not, and you're watching this on catch up, feel free to drop some comments in on the video. Help the old algorithm out. That would be super cool as well. So yeah, what else? Last thing as well is with my PC, so I got a PC a little while back. I downloaded, for a bit of nostalgia, I downloaded World of Warcraft. So I don't know if some of you have heard of World of Warcraft, but massive multiplayer online game, and that's really, really cool. And I started playing that and it was just such a throwback to like 20 odd years ago when I played it. So yeah, it really was quite cool to play that again. But apart from that, that's probably my week. Hopefully you guys have all had a good one. You have made it to Friday, so well done. And let's crack on with some painting, shall we? Oh no, I haven't even told you what's happening in today's show. So today's show, main conversation. So any point today you want to talk about stuff, we're going to talk about retro gaming and gaming in general. And that's purely because I played World of Warcraft this week. So it's got sort of brought back some nostalgia for me. So we're talking about that in our general topic. So feel free to any point to jump in the comments and let me know. On our muscle moment, so our second segment of the show, we wouldn't be Minis and Muscles if we didn't talk about fitness for about 5 minutes or so. And we're going to talk about fitness over fans, and we'll divulge into that a little bit more later. And then our last segment is hobby horror, where something generally goes wrong for me in the hobbying world, and it's called rough bit removal. And again, we will dig into rough bit removal a little bit later. Anyway, what have you guys all been up to? I hope it's been a geeky one. Fingers crossed you've got your water. Oh, excuse me. Just coughing and losing my voice there. Let's have a bit of water. So, hopefully, is what I was going to say, is you guys have got your water ready. And you guys have got your wet palette ready. Hopefully you've got your brushes and everything. Oh, actually, talking of brushes, I think my brushes are just in front of me, so I need to grab those. But hopefully you've got your wet palette ready. Hopefully you've got your water ready. And fingers crossed, you've got some brushes available. Look, here's a tray of guys I'm trying to bloody paint as well at the same time. So I get so excited by painting stuff. And my problem is I get distracted. So I'll start painting these ones on this tray, and then I'll start painting a different one, and then I'll start painting a different one again, and it gets a bit crazy. So yes, I do lose track sometimes of what I'm doing. But anyway, fingers crossed you've got your paintbrushes ready to rock and roll. Hopefully anyway. I'm just going to quickly dab mine in A little bit of water just to soften the bristles. Just so they're ready. And let's crack on with what we were painting. So let's have a reminder actually of what we were painting. So here's our guy, Uriel Ventris. And here he is in all his glory. So if I just bring him in a little bit closer to the camera. There you go. So you can actually see that he's got a bit of stubble shade on his face there. You can see his eyebrows are done. He's got his little eyes in there. So he's pretty well detailed so far. But there's not a huge amount left to do. There's one thing that I do want to do is clean up this cloak. So the join line in the plastic, we're going to try and get rid of that today. So that is, I think, what we'll do first. Just because it's slightly different, right? So what I will need for that is some green putty. Where have I put mine? Oh, that's a good question. Is it over in this one? Yeah, is that it? No, that's not it. Again, I lose paints. Does everyone else do this? They just lose paints through just being mad half the time. Well, that's me. So here we go. Got some green stuff, so liquid green stuff. I don't want the thick stuff because this is only a tiny little join line that I want to join there. So let's go over to our zoom down view, stick our man there. Let's just make sure we are ready. Turn my phone on silent because that was beeping earlier and we don't want that. So yeah, hopefully you guys have said before you've had a good week. It's been an interesting one and it's been full of geeky stuff. As I said, I played a few different games this week, which was nice. But now back to model painting, and let's just try and fill this cloak. The hole in the cloak is what I want to fill, so we're going to have to go back over and paint this again. I mean, that's fine, but well, we don't need much of this stuff. You only need a teeny tiny amount. What you can use is you can use tools like these to wipe the thing across. There are little rubber ended, they look a bit like paintbrushes, but instead of bristles on the end they've got like a little rubber thingy, but actually I just use my finger and lick my finger and then just rub it across. There we go. Alright, so you can see there it's filled the hole pretty much. We might have to do another layer on that once that's dry just to make sure it's filled, but that's pretty much all we need to do. Just looking at this guy actually, just trying to work out what's left on him. Not a huge amount. There's a couple of little shading things I want to do, so let's grab the old Agrax Earth shade. Mix that up. And we're just going to use this on the little sigils and the pieces of parchment. I always forget what they're bloody called, but these things that are draping down off of his armour. So I'm just going to apply a little bit onto these, just because it takes that sort of crazy whiteness off of the item, and it just makes it look a little bit more realistic. Because otherwise that real bright white just sticks out like a sore thumb, and we don't want that, so you can put a little bit on the pink as well. It's fine because it makes that a bit darker. I did pick up a new pink actually after, I don't know if anyone was watching last week, but last week I sort of said, oh, I spilt a whole bottle of paint and didn't even realise until it was too late and it had all dried. So yeah, so I got a new paint. I've got a new pink, which is slightly darker than this one, which I usually use actually, but I didn't have it available, so we used a lighter shade. I've got this tiny little skull down here. I just want to put some shading on. There we go. I've got these little aquillas here. Just run a little bit across the aquila. Anywhere else I want to put this? I'm not sure I do. I think we're pretty good, you know. I just want to check the centre of his belt as well, because the centre of his belt here is blue. If I just bring this into frame, oh yeah, it is meant to be blue. What else are we missing here? Ah, the gold trim around the edge of his armour. So right down the bottom of his armour there's gold trim, so let's stick that in. Good spot. Sometimes these models look like they're finished and they're simply not. There's so much more you can do. So let's find a gold. I think that gold might be in my tray that's down here. If I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So we use Retributor armour for the gold on this guy, just to make it really stand out. A little shake on our little shaky machine. You don't have to put metallics into a wet palette. Some people say you shouldn't, but I don't think it's that bad, you know. I do it quite often and it doesn't really seem to come out with a negative effect. Geek glasses on, because it's a slightly delicate process here. There we go. And all I'm doing is just running the gold along this trim edge, which is a pretty easy task really. It's not a difficult one. There we go. A little bit of gold in there. And we'll get the underside as well. You don't have to get the complete underside, but you want to get just enough so it looks like it's actually on there, rather than it looking like it's painted on. You want to look like it's got an edge to it. Oh, there's a tiny little bit in there that I just want to get. So sometimes you get these really hard to get places tucked at the back of the model there, but that's okay, we got it. Alright, so that's that bit. Is there any other bits that we're missing? If I just bring this in, just trying to have a little look here to see what else we're missing on this guy. Looks like he's actually got gold right around the top of here as well. So let's get some gold in there. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Oh, actually, that has got a brim on it as well. It's got a little edge. Let's just bring this back round so you can see that edging there. Let's just make sure we get that. There we go. So yeah, if you have had a good geeky week, or even just a good week in general, just drop it in the chat, let me know. Be good to hear from you. There we go, I think that's cool. Yeah, that's enough. So what I wanted to talk about was about retro gaming. So that's going to be our conversation for the week, and just a bit of a sort of chinwag on retro gaming. Whilst we take a look at this guy and see what else we need to do. I actually think we're pretty much done on him. Oh, we do need to add a shade to his blue armour, actually. That is what we do need to do. So what I don't want is, I don't want this guy to be as blue as he is. I want him to be slightly darker. So we're going to mix up some colours in a second, and we might as well do that now. We're going to mix up some colours on this guy, and that is going to be it's going to be this one. It's going to be Drakenhof Nightshade and Lamian Medium, just to thin it down a bit. So where is my little... So I used, for mixing up this, I just used the top part of my, what's it called, my wet palette. So I'll just mix that up. I'll just place it across the top of my wet palette. The only thing I don't like when mixing these is it's really hard to pour from this into a jar. I should really use a syringe or something, because you never really know how much you want. So it's about 2-to-1 ratio with this, is what I'm using anyway. And I go and I judge by the eyeball. I don't judge by a measurement. So I keep it fairly relaxed. And then all I'm going to do is place this across the entirety of the blue of this model. So you can already see that sort of darker effect, and it just sits in the recesses nicely, just to give a little bit of shadow. Don't want to get that on his sword. You've got to be careful though when you're doing this, because if you don't do the whole panel at the same time, and say I did like half of this leg that I'm doing now, it dries, and then when you go to do the other half, it looks completely different. So you must do every panel all at once. So no stopping on panels if you're doing this shading. So there's a little tip for you. First tip of the evening. Yeah, so today's topic of retro gaming, I thought, well, A, I haven't talked about gaming for a little while anyway, and B, I'm going to a retro gaming fair this weekend. So what is at a retro gaming fair? I hear you cry. Well, Plenty is at a retro gaming fair, and ultimately it's about sort of second-hand trade, really. So people trading, buying, selling second-hand old computer games and consoles, etc. So, you know, like an old Nintendo or a Sega Master System or whatever it is, old PlayStation even. I'm sure there's plenty of PlayStations out there, and there'll be modern games there as well, in all fairness. I would have thought a few of the sellers will have modern gaming systems there too, and it's local to me, so it's only just up the road, and I thought, oh well, it'd just be an opportunity to go and see what there is. I don't think I necessarily want something specific, but when I sort of, well, the reason why I got my Nintendo was all really about nostalgia and remember playing the games with my mum or my sister or, you know, buddies or something. So what I wanted to do was just, in my collection for my NES games, is have all of the games that I had as a kid. I thought that would be pretty cool. I have already got a fair few. I just need to sort of finish off the set, so I might be able to find a few of those this weekend. And I thought, oh well, seeing as I'm doing that, and seeing as I just started replaying World of Warcraft, which I played, what, 20 years ago. I thought, blah, sod it. We'll talk about gaming this weekend, this Friday. I can't even get my days out. There we go. What's nice about this shading is, so if you see, like, I can't really always tell instantly, but there's little tiny elements. Let's use this part here, right? So as soon as I go over the hand here, you can see that it sits in the recesses of the fingers, so it makes the fingers stand out. It just makes your painting look a lot crisper, as well as dulling down the blue, because I'm not a fan of like super bright blue on these ultramarines. So I just like to dull it down a little bit, and I just use this mix to do that. It's very hard though, and I possibly should have done this at an earlier stage, because it gets real difficult getting into all the nooks and crannies on these models once they're built, once they're all painted. So do try to do it stage by stage. Don't necessarily copy how I've done things verse for verse. I normally do things in a weird fashion and end up screwing myself over a little bit, so here we are. Yeah, so if you've got anything that you want to talk about in terms of retro gaming, sorry for my coughing, drop it into the chat, let me know, when we'll have a good old chinwag about it. So the first thing I was going to talk about anyway is my earliest gaming memories. So if you've got early gaming memories from when you first played something, drop it in the chat, let me know. I'd love to hear, what was the first game that you remember playing as a kid? What was the first memories you had? So for me, it's a really simple one, and probably one that a lot of people can relate to. It was Mario. So the original Mario number 1 on the Nintendo. That was my earliest gaming memory. It came free with my Nintendo. I didn't get a Nintendo straight away, but did get one, which was very, very good. And Mario was the free game. And so that was the original Mario, and by Christ did I put some hours into that game. Absolutely loved it. Although it was a couple of years old by the time I got it, it was still bloody epic. Sometimes if you've got a bit too much of this on your paintbrush, it can be a bit detrimental. So be careful when you're going around with this wash. Just be very careful, especially around the lighter areas. Yeah, so I remember playing Mario loads, and my sister was never very good with computer games, bless her. She'd often, like, if she wanted to jump with Mario, she'd like pull the controller out of the front of the system, like, so she'd like knee-jerk react and pull it all the way pull it all the way out. Optimus, sorry guys, I've missed the chat. I was just concentrating on painting. You've started back on Warcraft. Yes, I have. Which server? I have no clue. I can look later. What faction? So it's Alliance. So I've recreated the character that I made 20 odd years ago. So I made a night elf druid 20 odd years ago, and I've remade that character with the same name, and I'm playing it again, which is quite nice. Jamming Daily's on. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Just finished reading Battle for the Abyss. Ooh, nice. Tell me, what was that all about? Battle for the Abyss. I'd really like to know. Is that a Sisters of Battle book? Sounds very sistery with the title, at least. So yeah, drop that in the comments. Let me know what book that was. I'd be keen to know. So we've got someone nominating their first game that they played. BBC. It was on the BBC Micro called Dogfight. Oh, BBC Micro. Yeah. So actually, before I got a Nintendo, that's just reminded me. My first owned game was the Nintendo, and it was Mario, right? But my first actual game I played, you have triggered my memories there, Optimus, so thank you, was the BBC computer. It wasn't a micro, it was a big one, and it was at school. So my school had like 2 BBC computers, and I remember playing this game. I think it's called Granny's Garden, I think it was called, and it was like a sort of story type adventure where it'd say, right, you need to go and I think, was it rescue children from the granny's house or something, like an evil granny, and then you go into a house and you're sneaking about and you're trying to do stuff, and you know, it's got like a snake on the stairs and there's an apple on the floor, and you can pick up the apple and throw the apple at the snake to sort of scare it off, you know. So yeah, that you reminded me, that was my first game I played. First game I owned that I played was Super Mario, though. So yeah, crikey, the old BBC computer. There we go. What else are we saying? Saying, let me know on Discord and I'll start up a character. Oh, mate, yeah, okay. I'll jump in on Discord a bit later after the live, and I'll put the details of the server on there. So if anyone else wants to jump on the Warcraft server, they'll be more than welcome. I think I've got my character to like level 12 so far. But sometimes I find on Warcraft, and maybe it's just my old man brains, I get like, not confused, yeah, maybe confused is the best word. Confused about the quests and which direction I'm going and what I should be doing, so having someone else playing at the same time will be very helpful, Optimus, so that will be super cool. So I'd appreciate that. Just getting this last little bit of this shading onto his armour. So I don't think it's, oh sorry, just out of camera, I don't know if you can see now, so it's slightly dulled the blue down. It still looks a little bit shiny because it's wet, but once it's dried, this sort of mix really does do well for bringing down that blue tone, so it doesn't look so bright. Looks a little bit, not dirty and grimy, because that's not what I'm going for, but a bit more of a real-time blue. Because quite often if you have things that are blue, they're not like bright and shiny, they don't stand out right in front of your face, do they? Slightly dull, and that's what this does. Right, so that is that. We got on the back of this guy, we just filled that a little bit so you can see it's still visible, so we're going to get that liquid green stuff out again, and we're going to just go over it one more time. Again, you don't need much on your little spreader, but just get a little bit on there into the gaps. That'll do. Let's see how we do with this one. And again, just with the finger, wetting the finger, just running that up and down a little bit. We will paint over it, don't worry. Just to try and blend that in and take off the lump and just smooth it over a little bit. There's a little bit. We might have to repaint this bit of parchment right in the corner here, but there's a little tiny hole that I just want to fill. So what you can, if you are very careful with these scrapers, you can very gently work them over these gaps. But quite often I don't have the skill set or the patience to do it. It does not come out too bad this time, actually. But the finger method ends up being far easier to just smooth it over. There we go. So we'll have to repaint that. What else are we saying? Oregon Trail, jamming dailies on IBM PC. Okay, so come on. We've got Dogfight on the micro piece BBC computer from Optimus. Optimus, I'm guessing that was a airplane fighter jet type game, but let me know what it was. Jamming dailies saying Oregon Trail. What was Oregon Trail on the IBM PC? I've told you what Granny's Garden was, which is the first game I played on the BBC computer. Optimus saying, assuming you haven't joined a guild, you have to come up with a name and start one. No, I haven't joined a guild yet. I haven't got that deep into it yet. I'm just worried about getting too deep into it because it can sort of suck the life out of you playing World of Warcraft. I remember, if I go back to 20 years ago when I played it, great game and I absolutely love it, but crikey, it is, you can get very deeply sucked into that game. Let's try and find these colours. What we got here? So we've got our whites. So what I'm going to start doing is working on the power sword now. I've got some white because I want to put a little bit of white down on here. What else are we saying? Yeah. Jamming Daily's saying you play as a settler heading west on a wagon. Oh, okay, nice. Alrighty. So that's pretty cool. I like those sort of games as well. Is it? Did you sort of? Is it one where you sort of choose? Not choose your own adventure, but you kind of choose options to do things. So right, okay, you're going to settle here. You're going to build a campfire. You're going to chop wood, that kind of thing. And we'll have to investigate. So on here we've got like two blobs on his power weapon. And I'm not putting loads of white on, I'm going really gentle because it's already got some silver on anyway. And what I want to do is put a very sort of light coat of contrast over the top. Now you've got the silver and the white underneath it, which just brings out the colour. So again, just go really lightly on the little power sword, little blips. You know, do you know what I mean by little blip? The little sort of these little lines here that just stick out. So those little bits there. Just go very lightly. You don't need too much on it. One here as well. I'm just going to run some contrast over it just to see what that looks like. I think we're going to go. What kind of contrast? Again, I don't want to go for a blue. I might have to go for a green colour because otherwise it's just blue, 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 and I don't like that. So let's get this one out. Let's go for this sort of bright green. Precisely, Jamming Daily's saying you stop at trading posts and buy and sell trade supplies. Oh, okay. Supposed to help kids learn math. Oh, got you. Right. Okay, makes sense. Okay. So yeah, there was plenty of those games that were about. I tell you what. A few years later, there was a game called that was on the school computer when the school upgraded from the BBC computer to, I can't remember what it was, and it had Hey Arthur. I think it was Hey Arthur. Or I'm remembering something from my own kids, I can't remember. But it was a game and it had this little cartoon character and it was like a book. It was like a story book. And you could read the book and you could click on things in the image and things would happen. So you'd like click on a duck in the picture and it would quack or something along those lines. So that was quite a good game as a kid. But yeah, my first memories and my sole memories of owning my own game was 100% Super Mario. So again, just donning the geek glasses just to ensure that I get this nice and tight. go, running around the edge. There we are. There's one. And we've got to do the back side as well. Boop. A little bit more difficult to do this side, but it's not really going to be seen much, so don't panic too much on the back side. If you sort of overrun a little line or something, or there we go. Alright, so what you can do is you can do like really jazzy effects on your sword as you go down, but I'm not going to do that. And I say A, because not that they're difficult to do, but they're quite time consuming to make them look good. And what I want to do is get these painted and use these models in a game. So I'd say he's pretty much done diddly done. Oh, apart from his back. What did we use? Did we use Caliban green, I think, for his cloak? Yeah, so that was my first game. And does it still hold up today? So Super Mario, does that still hold up in today's world? Now, gameplay wise, 100% Super Mario 1 still holds up today in 2025. It's a little bit thick, that is. I don't know if I've got some might have some sandpaper that I can just rub that down with. Let's have a look in this little tray. Yeah, so does Super Mario stand up in 2025? Is it still a playable game? 100% yes. It still holds its own. Gameplay-wise, it's still bloody brilliant. It's so addictive, still, to this day. So yeah, I would challenge anyone if they said, you know, Super Mario is a load of tosh in 2025. I'd say you haven't lived if you haven't played that. So what I'm doing now is, just where I put on that green stuff, I've just got a really fine, I can't remember if this is like 3000 or 5000 grit sandpaper, but I'm just going over that green stuff just to get rid of the bumps and smooth it out, because this is a cloak, and what you don't want is for it to be a massive unusual looking sort of lump on the, oh sorry, I'm not doing it in the camera. You don't want it to be a massive unusual looking lump, so I'm just sort of gently working this down a bit at a time. And if you do use this sandpaper or any sandpaper or sort of what's it called the thing, a file type device on your models, go steady, because you will soon go through anything. So use really fine sandpaper if you're going to do it, or just be very gentle, bit by bit. So just go really slow. Nothing wrong with going slowly. The ladies will agree there. It's not all about wham bam, thank you ma'am. There we are. Okay, so that looks now, although it looks damaged now in terms of I've, you know, sandpapered over and gone through a bit of the paint layers. But actually now it looks about right. So I'm going to test. I'm going to put some paint on here and just see how that looks. Because again, when you reapply the paint, you will then start to see the imperfections come out again. So if you haven't quite got rid of a dip, or there's still a little bit left, you'll see that on the model. Let's just go very thin on your paint. So make sure it's nicely watered down enough so you're not painting super layers on. Okay, so there's a little bit there, a little line. Whether or not once that dries, I probably will go over that again with the sandpaper. Damn it! Oh gosh darn it! Yeah, so it's still quite a pronounced line, so I'm not quite happy with that. So I'll do it again. Might even need a little bit of that green stuff again. Reapply the green stuff, try again. But that's okay. Apart from that though, what do we reckon, guys? He's a pretty cool model, right? He looks pretty smart. I could do with where I've been sort of holding him. I quite often hold the sort of top part of any model. So where I've been holding him up there, I've sort of worn off a bit of the gold on the top. So let's just reapply that gold. Apart from that, this guy is ready for war. There we are. I'll just put gold onto the top. Oh, I bloody well have. What a donut. So here's what happens when you get a bit too excited or you don't quite concentrate. It also doesn't help when you don't have your geek glasses on. So now what I've got to do is just be really careful just to cover that up with blue, and I'm going to have to go back over with my wash again. So there's constant sort of revisions on models sometimes when you're really going for the fine details. But he's pretty much done. I'm just going to place him here just to allow him to dry, but I think he's pretty much done. So that means, people, we get to choose a new model, which is awesome. Right, I'll leave him there so people can see him. There you are. Excuse me for the coughs. So a bit of water. So, more models. What are we going to paint next? Well, I've got this guy here. So let's just move him out of the way for a second. I've got this guy to paint, a Judiciar. Again, another Space Marine character. He's going to go in a Black Templar army, though. He's a proxy, so he's not even Games Workshop. Sorry, Games Workshop, but he's a proxy. Someone resin printed him. But he looks pretty cool, actually, for a resin print. He's pretty well detailed, and you know, if you looked at him against a standard Games Workshop model, he's almost bang on. So, you know, I'm quite happy with that. And he was a third of the price of a Games Workshop model. Oh, just lost my camera. How does this happen, right? Just through the week I've been charging this camera, so I don't know how that's happened. Only thing that happened on this guy. What the hell? Is it me? That camera's still on. What the hell's going on? There you go. What? Oh, come on. What the hell? Right, there we go. So I had to fix this guy with some green putty because the little bit, the connecting sort of chain that he was holding was just too flimsy, and he broke off. So we've got this guy we can paint anyway. That's quite cool. We've got this big guy. So let's zoom out slightly. I bought this one second hand. Oh, for God's sake. I bought this one second hand on, I think it's eBay or Vinted. He's a little bit worse for wear. So, you know, the arm swings about all over the place. The paint job wasn't very good, so I just sprayed blue over him. I didn't even bother stripping him down of the paint that was already on him. Just sprayed blue, and then I'll repaint him. I did stick a new mud across the base as well, so that's done. So we got him, and I've also got this here. Let's zoom out again. Oh, that's in. We've got a Repulsor Executioner tank. So this is a big old beast. If I bring in our model that we've been painting next to him, he's absolutely tiny. This tank is massive, but super cool. It has got so many guns on it. It's pretty insane. So that does come off if you want to take that off. So we've got that we can paint as well. It's got some nice little moving parts. I don't know why my camera keeps freezing, guys. I'm really sorry. But the camera is on, I can assure you. I just don't know why it's freezing. But there's loads of details to paint on this. So from actually tidying up the sides, painting on the little steps, there's so much to do. So we could start this one. So let's put a little pole in. Let's just lay him down there. So why does that keep happening? I don't know what's going on here. I do apologise, people. I do apologise. Oh, crikey. Right. Let's put in a pole. How do we do poles? Start a pole. Alright, here's the question. What... Oh, God. What model is next? And we want big guy with sword. We've got tank, and we've got, what else did I say? Oh, we got the walking robot. So that's actually called a dreadnought. Also executioner. Right, okay. Oh, must be between... Oh, that's too many characters. Okay, take that out. Okay, is that right? Which one is wrong then? 8, 8, 8. Get rid of that. Start poll. There we go. We've done it. Cool, crikey. How hard was that? Right, I've stuck a poll in chat, guys. So if you want, what model do we want to paint next? Because this guy's pretty much done. So what model do we want next? There's 3 options there. There's the Justiciar, who's this guy. A guy with a big sword to chop people's brains out. We have got this big walking robot, the Dreadnought. So we got this guy. Or we have got the one and only gigantic Repulsor Executioner tank. So we've got the 3 of those to paint, okay? There are options. That's what's in the votes. So stick your votes in. Let's get something going. Whilst we just revisit this guy. There's a little bit more work to do here, just to cover up that little bit of a crack on the join line. Again, just doing it in layers, small layers, is really the only way you want to do it. Sometimes it's quite difficult, so don't feel bad when you're trying to do this at home, because I struggle with leveling stuff out with this stuff and getting it really smooth. It just takes me loads of goes, so don't feel bad if you're doing that. It's not a problem. Oh, my bloody camera keeps freezing. I don't know what's going on with this, you know. Right, let's unplug this. Sorry guys for losing camera. Let's see if we can get this back up and running for you. Bear with me, bear with me. It's gone a bit wrong, hasn't it? this is cutting out. Just check the cables. All done. Cable's alright. Let's stick that back in. See what happens. Silver Scratch Built Productions. Hello there. What you painting? Well, sorry, Silver Scratch Built Productions. We're not painting anything right now. Well, you can't see anything right now. Lost voice can't hear you. Oh no. That's not good. Ah! What's gone on? Everything's gone wrong on the stream today. Right, hold on. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I don't know what's happening, guys. Sorry. This is not good. Don't know why this is happening, but it's all going wrong. 2 seconds. Oh, you can hear me, Optimus. Okay. That's good. We just can't get the camera back up yet. So apologies. So my camera is on, it's working, but for some reason the video capture card that's going into the laptop is not picking it up. Oh no, that's awful. I'm so sorry, guys. I think my video capture card's thrown its hand in. Unless we can get it back. Aha! Hey, there we go. So, to answer your question, Silver Scratch Built Productions, this is what we're painting today. So we're painting Uriel Ventris, Ultramarine. So this is our guy that we're painting today. He's just drying off from a little bit of a dragon. Oh, damn it! It just cut out again. I can't believe this. I do not know what is going wrong with my camera, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me think of what we can do here. I might be able to get my camera on my phone. Sorry, peeps. Bear with me. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. I'm just going to try something here. I am still here, so don't think you've lost me. I am still here. I'm just trying to find something. No. It's not having it. Oh no, this sucks. We were Silver Scratch painting this guy. Okay, so you can see if I bring him nice and close, you can see his little beard. You can see the details that we've got on him. He's very cool. We were just fixing his cloak there, look. So we're just adding some green putty to the back, smoothing him out. We were also voting on what's the next item. So if you're looking in chat, you'll be able to see that there's some a voting poll panel where you can vote for the next thing we paint. Do we paint this guy? Do we paint this guy? Or do we paint this guy? So there's your 3 options. If I spin that round, there you go, you can see him now. So there's your 3 options. That's in the poll, so make sure you stick a vote in. So far it looks like the Dreadnought's working. The Dreadnought is going to win, rather. Let's just see if the camera's come back or the... No. Ah. Okay, let's try this. Right, sorry guys, we're going to have to do a temporary fix here. This is my phone, so this is how we might have to do the rest of the show, via phone. So this is our guy, Uriel Ventris, that's how he looks like. There's the little bit on the cape that we're trying to do. I've not got a phone stand. Right, to hold my phone, because I haven't used a phone on the channel since we first started. I wonder if I placed this here. Right, here we go. This is real improvisation now. Bear with me, bear with me. I'm trying to get you a good camera angle with this phone. Right, if we spin that way. No. Oh, for God's sake, now it's all upside down. Oh, God. No, this is awful. Right. Okay, so you can now see him anyway. There we go. I'm so sorry about this, guys. I'm so sorry. So this is our guy anyway. Here he is. Apologies because the camera is upside down, so I'm having to sort of really think about how I move the model to fit it into the right frame. There we go. So that's what he looks like currently. He's just drying. He's just had a shade applied to his blue, and we are working on this part. So we're just trying to get this little part here. We're just trying to get that filled. So there was a tiny little crack there. And I'm just trying to fill that and now sand it down so that you don't see, you know, a huge bump. So we don't want the huge bump to be there. We just want it to look like a smooth cloak. So I filled it with green stuff, and I'm just sanding it down now. Fine grit sandpaper. Here we go. Hopefully this is looking okay in the camera to you guys. I hope so anyway. Because what was my magnifying glass with the light on, I've actually lifted that up, balanced my phone on top of it, and I've got my phone camera running instead of my main camera. Because my video card has gone kaput. Just trying to get this nice and smooth, which is quite difficult. I have a custom Nurgle Christus Knight Titan I'm working on. I'm 85 hours into painting Mortarion and just got my Eldar Revenant Titan in the mail yesterday. Now I'm waiting on Angron. Man, you've got some painting to do. There are some big ass models. I'm currently trying to sell my Eldar Titan actually. Because I was going to start an Eldar army and then I never did, so I sold Mortarion. Have I sold Mortarion? Yeah, I sold Mortarion. I had him, but I sold him. I got rid of him. Didn't have Angron, but sold Mortarion. So yeah, so I did have those very cool models. I did keep a proxy Mortarion, which is actually a female, and I'm going to paint it up to look like Sisters of Battle, but a possessed sister. So that's what I was going to do. Just trying to get this smoothed out. Come on, sandpaper. Work with me. Yeah, we've been a bit distracted on our generalised topic of conversation today, haven't we, because of all the faults that we've had. So sorry for the technical glitches, guys. But, just bring that back into view for you. Our general conversation should be about gaming. So here on Minis and Muscles, if you're new to the channel, so Silver Scratch Build Productions, you're new to the channel, we talk about a variety of different things during the live stream. And today we've chosen to talk about retro gaming and gaming in general, purely because I've restarted playing World of Warcraft, and I'm going to a retro gaming fair this weekend. So I thought it would be apt to talk about retro games and computer games in general. So let's have a conversational starter in the chat. I want to know what your favourite retro console is. Stick it in the chat. Beep, beep, beep. I want to know what that favourite console is that you've got. So stick it in the chat. Let's hear it. What is your favourite console of all time? Retro console, so it could be absolutely anything from any era. Stick it in the chat. Let me know. Whilst I just attempt to layer on a little bit of paint onto this guy's cape to see if we've got it just right this time. So your favourite console of all time. Retro console. Is it the Sega Game Gear, the battery-hungry demon but portable that had a little TV tuner? Or was it the Commodore 64? A British-made beast of a computer in its time? Or was you a Nintendo guy? You know, was you a GoldenEye N64 player, for example? What is your favourite retro console of all time? Stick it in the chat. I want to know what that favourite console is. There we go. Right, okay, we might have got that. Oh, actually, no, it's not quite right. It's not quite right. There's some dips in it, not quite happy with that, but it's not far from it. So, we won't complain too much. Righty. Okay. So, if you haven't voted on the next model to paint, stick your vote in. I'd love to know what it is. Are we going to paint the Dreadnought? Are we going to paint the tank? Or are we going to paint the Judiciar? Right, here we go. There we go. I can get him just in there. So he's not bad. He looks pretty decent. And this is not for a Golden Demon Entry Award. This is purely for, you know, good tabletop standard. He looks alright. So I'm pretty happy with him. Oh, going that way. The face is what I really like on this guy. I think the face is really good. I'm super happy with that. Oh, what we had in here. Optimus is saying the Sega Mega Drive. Whoa. Sonic 2 came out. Was it on the Sega Mega Drive? Sonic 2 came out on the Master System. I can't remember. But yeah, great console. 16-bit Sega Genius. Streets of Rage 2, that was epic. Jammins Daily saying the original PlayStation. Ooh, original Tomb Raider on the original PlayStation. Silver Scratch Built Productions is saying the OG PlayStation for the one and only Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy Tactics. Ooh, I don't think I played Final Fantasy Tactics. I played Final Fantasy... what's it called? Blah, 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 blah. 5. Final Fantasy 5 on the PlayStation, original PlayStation. But I didn't play Final Fantasy Tactics. We're going to have to zoom out for this bad boy, because he's a big lad. But we're also going to have to... Can we go to this camera? No. Because it's all back to front, I'm so sorry, peeps. I'm going to see if I can rotate the camera whilst we're doing this live. If we unlock that, and if we click on... No, we want this one. Unlock that. Right, bear with me, people. Bear with me, bear with me. We're just going to try and flip this camera. We want to rotate this camera. So those of you that have only just joined, you will notice that the camera is a bit funky today. That is because the camera went completely tits up, our normal camera. So, alright, there we go. Move that to there. And then zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out. Oh, geez. That's still really close, isn't it? Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I'm going to have to work with this. Arrestus, heyo, how you doing? The stream is going okay, but the camera's gone... Well, actually not my camera, but the video card connecting my camera to my laptop has gone wrong. So we're having to use my phone, and it's proving slightly tricky to get good camera angles. So bear with me whilst we try and adjust this as best we can. There we go, that's not too bad, right? That's half decent. Right, so this Dreadnought, let's end the poll. It looks like the Dreadnought won. This Dreadnought I bought from Vinted. He's a bit worn torn. He's had a bit of a hard life. I did not take all the original paint off him, so you can still see some of the original paint underneath there. I just sprayed blue over the top and thought, right, I'm just going to throw him on the board really quickly. But he's sat in my box of doom for a very, very long time. So let's get some colour onto him and let's start making him look half decent. So where do we want to start with this guy? I think the front comes off of this one. Someone's painted. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the front does come off. Oh dear, and he's completely white underneath. Oh, giddy gosh. Right, well, we're going to need some black, aren't we? We're going to have to start putting some black onto this guy. We can't leave him like that. We certainly can't leave his little engine bay like that. So, let's get some black into the wet palette. Hopefully the camera's okay now, guys. Fingers crossed you don't lose the camera anyway. I know it's not the right angle and I know it's not particularly the best picture, but bear with me, I'm going to have to buy a new video card because the one I've got is gone wrong. So yeah, this guy just needs lots. I'm going to use a bigger brush. I need a bigger brush! Oh, that's too wet. Oh, silly me. Now I'm rushing. See, once one thing goes wrong, everything seems to go bloody wrong. Right, let's just fill this nice and quick. So this is my old brush that I've got on here. It's pretty crappy, so I just use it for mass area painting like this. But let's get back to the chat anyway. We were talking about the best retro console of all time. So we've had a couple of votes for the original Sony PlayStation. We've had some votes for the Sega Master System, a Sonic the Hedgehog Beast, and games like Alex Kidd and things like that are on there. Great games. So what else do we think and why? So guys that have said the PlayStation or the Mega Drive, why is that? Is that for one specific game or because of one specific game? Or is it because you think that it was pioneering in some way because, I don't know, the PlayStation was the first 32-bit console that did X, or, you know, whatever it was, you know... Sorry, it wasn't 32-bit, was it? It was 64, the original PlayStation? But yeah, drop it in the chat. I would love to know. Whilst we cover this Dreadnought and get some black into all of those nooks and crannies. So this was, as I said, a purchase from Vinted. And I didn't pay a lot of money for him. And he come across in a rather tired state. So it's up to me to rejuvenate him a little bit, make him look a bit better, and get him on the battlefield. I might even use him tomorrow. I've got a Warhammer battle tomorrow. I'm going to use my Ultramarines. So I will probably put this guy on the table if I can. Although it won't be in this format. He will be a Brutalis Dreadnought rather than a Redemptor Dreadnought. There we go. My Mortarian for gaming, my 10-man squads take 250 to 300 hours before they see gameplay. Oh, bro. So, if you're looking for Golden Demon Awards, like sounds like you're painting, mate, I do not do Golden Demon Award painting. I do quick, dirty down painting that looks, you know, reasonable for the battlefield. Because I just don't have the patience to sit there and paint like you will. You know, like these sort of models like this guy, you know, he's okay. He's good enough for the table. That's exactly what I want. I can't sit there and paint for 250 hours on one model. I applaud you, sir. That is a hell of a job you're doing there to do that. I just couldn't do it. It would break me. So, yeah, I think that's a wonderful thing you're doing, 250 hours on a model. That's a lot of love into that model. So, and all models need love, guys. All models need love. Let's just paint the inside of this whilst we're here. Can't have that sitting in white, can we? At least we paint it black. So I'm just literally throwing paint on as quickly as I can here. Yeah, 250, 300 hours. Woo. Like, how long does it take you to paint an entire army? It must take you, like, years. Although you're saying you only paint Titans so far, so... Does that mean all you do is Titans? That would then make some... That would then kind of allude to you don't need a full army of, you know, 20 different squads. You only got a couple of Titans and that's it, and that's what you roll on the field. So Titans, guys, are absolutely humongous war machines used by the Imperium and the forces of Chaos, and they're massive. So this dreadnought, sorry, looks quite big in comparison to that little model we were painting. A Titan is probably 5 or 6 times, no, 1, 2, maybe 8 times taller than this guy. So 8 times taller than him. They're massive. Absolutely ginormous. They're super cool models and they look amazing, but crikey, they're very expensive as well. It's like the upper echelons of Warhammer modelling. So yeah, Silver Scratch Build Productions. Yeah, most guys that I play with think I'm nuts. Well, that's okay. It's alright to be nuts. Everyone's crazy. I'm pretty bonkers myself, so don't worry about being nuts. I'm rather confused actually about this guy. I think this guy... Oh no, maybe he is sprayed actually. Maybe they just sprayed him white first. Started thinking for a second this guy might be a proxy. So an unofficial model. But I think he is real. Just trying to get the last little bits done on that. So look, what we're doing is just quickly flowing that in black. Just so that we get a bit of colour onto him, and it's not all white. That's what I don't want. I don't want a model that's just bright white. That's just ridiculous. You can't have that. I can't believe that I actually got this model when he was like that. That's madness. So anyway, we had a couple of votes on what we think's great for a retro gaming console. What about arcade culture? So when I was a kid, talking of retro gaming, I used to go down to the arcade a lot. And there was always an arcade nearby that I could go to. And the games were aplenty and they were all over the place. And you could play them to your heart's content. Very, very cheap. Very, very simple to play. And it was a joy, right? Now, in their heyday, arcades were super cool, right? You had a huge amount of variety. By the way, I'm just getting some blue out so we can stick some blue on this guy. You had a huge amount of variety of games. They were super cheap. And you could play absolutely everywhere and anywhere. So most towns would have an arcade of some sort. Even if, at worst case, that arcade was inside a bowling alley or something like that. But a lot of places had arcades and you could just stop by and play games. Now, I would love to see that rejuvenated. For, you know, people to be able to go in and play an arcade game in a proper old arcade, and that's all that's in there, you know, plus maybe a bit of food or something, you know. I would love to see that come to life again. I don't know if anyone else has got a bit of a passion like I do for arcades and arcade machines, but I would love to see computer games come back in that kind of fashion and style again. Because I really miss arcades, and I think they were a great place for people to meet up with their buddies. You know, let's just think of if you're not au fait or used to arcades, let's think of Stranger Things. So Stranger Things, they all go to an arcade all the time and they go play games. It's just a great place to meet up with your mates. Like, I don't get why they're not a thing anymore. It's kind of sad. So I'd love for arcades to be back in. If anyone else would love arcades to be back in, drop a comment in the chat. So all we're doing now is just putting the blue on. Don't worry, I've probably gone over the edges in certain places. That's fine, because we're going to be putting some colour on in certain places, like on these pipes, for example. But I just want him to look half decent, so if that front shell does ever come off, you can see that he has had some love, and he has been painted. So I'm just kind of trying to fill some of the gaps. I didn't actually realise how bad this model was, but he is pretty bad. And I'm just looking at the quality of the paint that was put on before as well, and it's pretty thick, so that's never good. What I should have really done is I should have stripped the model of all the paint and started afresh, but that also means that it's a much longer process to get all that done, and quite frankly I don't want to go through that. I applaud anyone, as we got our watchers here, that put in 250 hours on a model, but woo-wee, that's a lot of time, and I love to play, so yeah, I can't be doing 250 hours. That's madness. Took me a year to paint my Dark Angels, and I have another 900 hours to paint 30 Infernus Marines for it, and then it will be done. Mate, that is some serious commitment. Wow. You'll have to join the Discord, dude, and put some pictures of your models into the Discord. I'd love to see them, what your army looks like. So if you go onto the Minis-N-Muscles main homepage, and then just click on the link in the description, you will find that will take you to a variety of different links, one of those being for Discord. Jump on the Discord server and you'll find we've got a load of chat rooms in there, and people stick their minis in there freely. So I'd love to see your army, man. I would love to see it. It sounds super cool. Dark Angels are epic anyway. They look really, really good. So I would love to see what your army looks like with, you know, 900 hours or whatever it is per model. I'd love to see what they look like. So join the Discord. I'm losing my voice. Haven't spoke much today, so I think that's probably why. Here we go. So I'm really trying to speedily paint this guy and get the colour coverage on him as quickly as possible into the areas that I need to. There's some places that you just don't need to worry about too much. If it's just going on the table and you're not putting 900 hours in. If you're putting 900 hours in, you're going to do absolutely everything. But, you know, in this guy's case, we're not going to do absolutely everything. It will be good enough to get him onto the table so he looks pretty decent. Good enough so we've got covered a few little tips and tricks for people to be able to paint their own models at home to a similar standard and get the similar effects. Right, let's just take a look at this. This needs a little bit of blue across the top. Ignore the bristles on this brush, people. This is an old brush that is used for exactly what I'm doing now. Mass area coverage. That's all it's used for. Actually, I'm looking at this model now. People haven't even taken off all the burrs off the edge. Crikey, it's 8:30 already. Jeez. Sort of almost through the entire stream and I haven't even done my other segments yet. So let's quickly do this and then we'll stop to do our muscle moment. Because we wouldn't be Minis and Muscles if we didn't talk about a bit of fitness for 5 minutes, right? So we'll do that in a second. There we go. Crikey, it's taking quite a bit of time to do this. I've never done this in on the camera in this kind of way before, so it's quite interesting to see, or it will be quite interesting to see how this guy turns out. Because like this is pure painting for speed, not for anything but. Off to work, or off work. JPC in the house. Welcome, JPC. Welcome back. So you're off work today. So JPC is one of our US watchers. Welcome, bud. Hope you're all good. Just so you know, JPC, a regular watcher, we've had a camera failure here. So we've had the video card that does our normal camera system. That's failed us, so we're now got my mobile phone as the camera and it's rested on our LED light, and that's how we're doing it tonight. So it's quick, it's dirty, it's rough and ready. Elias is in the house as well. How you doing, Elias? So Silver Scratch Build Production said I'm going to do an Eldar army on Parade 1 Phantom Titan, 2 Revenant Titans, 2 Wraith Knights. Ah, I've got a Wraith Knight if you want to buy it. It's on Vinted, if anyone has Vinted. I started messing around with the airbrush with him and then I thought, oh, sod it, I'm just going to put him on Vinted and sell him. I've actually got the whole Eldar army on there and an entire Orc army as well. Just cleaning this brush up. Right, what I might do now is what we did earlier with our Uriel Ventress. So we made up a mix of this colour, Drakenhof Nightshade and Lamian Medium just to give the colour a bit of depth and to make it a bit darker, basically, because I don't like my ultramarines looking super bright and super crazy. So I'm just making up a bit of that same mix now, and it will just give the model a darker feel. So rather than being sort of bright blue like this, when we paint it on, it goes on a bit darker. Oh, that's a bit too much though. So we can just take a bit off there, and we're just going to darken the model up with Lamia Medium and a Drakenhof Nightshade. There we go. Oh, sorry, painting off camera. It's because I'm not used to this position to hold the model in. Here we go. Righty, that's that piece. Let's get a bit of this mix onto this guy as well. I think I've made up too much of the mix, to be fair. But we'll see. So this is all this is just to dull the blue down so it's not so bright, because I'm not a fan of the super bright blue Smurfs or Ultramarines. And I'm hoping that this really cheaty shade that I'm putting across the entire model will cover all of the hideous parts of this model. So if you didn't see what I was talking about earlier, this model was a second-hand model. So I bought him. He was really badly painted, and I mean really badly. And I didn't pay a lot of money for him. So I thought, right, I'm going to try to restore him to some kind of point, and I'm hoping that this sort of quick speed paint job on him will cover up all the nasties, and he won't look as bad. Well, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So, and we'll see what he turns out like, right? Oh, had a bit of a colour leak there just on the model base. Get rid of that. Don't know where that came from. Sorry if I keep going out of camera, guys. It's not intentional. It's just working with this new setup is slightly different. So we just gotta do what we gotta do. There we go. So some people will be looking at how I'm painting this right now and absolutely crying out at the screen. Like, no, what are you doing? This is pure sacrilege. But when you're trying to paint models quickly and get them done, and get them to a half decent standard so they don't look absolutely terrible, you know, if you don't want to spend the time on the models, then stuff like this is really good for getting them done quick. So this sort of this isn't speed paint, but this sort of speed paint style is quite nice because you can get a model coverage really fast, and they don't look great, they don't look like sort of masterpieces, but they will look good enough on the battlefield. There we go. Sticking all in here. So what else are we talking about? I've never painted a vehicle beside one bike. Oh, JPC, you've got to try. Vehicles are quite fun, to be fair. They're pretty good. They're a good laugh to paint. They're different, which makes them interesting, right? Well, I think so anyway. go. So don't worry about some of the crappy paint that's on here already. We will go over these areas. I'm just getting this on to dull the blue down because I don't like a super bright blue on my ultramarines. And this Drakenhof and Lamia medium just tones them down, which I like. And I'm not doing it in a nice way, I'm doing it fast. So you can see that it doesn't take on this side of the fence anyway, in terms of doing this kind of style to get this kind of effect. It doesn't take a lot, it doesn't take years of practice, doesn't take anyone with a huge amount of skill set to do. So anyone could do this. So if you're a first time painter, it's certainly a good little cheaty way to paint. Right. Okay. Right, that and that and that, they're all painted. They're all shaded up, so they're he's looking darker now, he's not so bright. Oof. Oh no. What's happening here? I've got a load of contrast on my base, so that's not good. Tidy that up. Right, whilst that's drying, we've got a chance to talk about other stuff, haven't we? So I'm going to switch over to our front view. There we go. You can see the camera where it is. That's what I'm having to do tonight. So, sorry guys. Oh, but we wouldn't be Minis-N-Muscles if we didn't talk about a little bit of fitness. And what I wanted to talk about tonight was fitness over fans. Now, what do I mean by fitness over... I'm just going to move this... Oh, I don't want to move that down because I'm going to come this way a little bit. Fitness over fans. What do I mean by fitness over fans? Now, this is sort of how to train a little bit smart without blindly following fitness influencers that you will find on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all of the social media sites that are out there, right? Because, let's face it, quite a lot of them are very young individuals that have been in the fitness game for 2 seconds and they don't know a huge amount. And I've seen so many people teaching bad things as well. So I thought I'd just drop in a little bit of a 5 talking points, which is quite simple. So, one size doesn't fit all. Fitness influence will sell you their dream because that's their dream, and quite often it's linked to something, whether that's merch, a training program, a diet regime, a sponsored, what's it called, like a sponsored ad. So they're going to try and sell you that because that's their dream, because that's making them money of some sort. Now, even if it wasn't making them any money, not everything will be suitable for everybody. So don't get wrapped up in thinking that you have to follow this regime because XYZ has said so. There is no regime that fits everybody. Just take your time, have a look at what you're looking at, think about whether it fits with your lifestyle, regime, way of living, and then introduce it if it works. Quite often fitness influencers, why I don't like this fans over fitness sort of idea is that they search for views over results. Now, so they will say something either really controversial, or they'll say something to grab your attention, or it'll be some chick in a very small outfit to wear something to grab attention from the male community, and vice versa, a guy with his top off showing his abs because he's trying to get attention from the female community. Now, social media thrives on that flashy, extreme workout, gimmicky kind of vibe to ultimately prey on people so they can build up their own social media following. Just be aware that doesn't always work and it's not always suitable. So take a moment, breathe, and step back if you need to. Next point is the basics still work. So press ups, sit ups, squats, lunges, they all work. Body resistance is where you can start. You don't need some flashy machine or some new piece of technology to achieve things. You can achieve things as long as you set your mind to it and you're disciplined and you just start with the basics. Listen to your body. So I always say this, you know, if you're feeling a bit of pain, if you're feeling a bit of illness, sickness, whatever it is, or if you're feeling really good, listen to your body and take advantage of that moment. It's well worth it. Hold on. So remember, when you're listening to your body, a plateau, as in when you find a dead spot in your training regime where you're not gaining something, and you're listening to that, will teach you a lot more than a TikTok video saying, do this, do that. And lastly, the sort of online sort of world is more about long-term, the quick fix over long-term gains. Now, I'm all about long-term gains. I've been doing sort of more weightlifting stuff for almost 10 years now. I started weighing about 70 kilograms and now weigh like 95, 98 or so. And it's taken me 10 years to get to this physique because I'm just taking my time in doing it and enjoying it whilst I'm there. So just remember, sustained efforts and planned out routines and regimes work over, hey, just take this wonder drug or do this wonder exercise and you're going to get abs like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in his 20s. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So just take things with a pinch of salt. Righty, that is our muscle moment. Let's see if we can go back to the phone. Oh no, has our phone stopped? Oh, don't say our phone camera's stopped as well. Oh no. Okay. So we're here. That one. Right. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good, peeps. I think we're okay. Oh, what a stressful stream tonight with everything breaking. That's no good at all. Right, so what were we doing? Well, we were looking at painting this guy, weren't we? This big juggernaut of a fella. So all I'm doing right now, you can't see, I'm just doing it off camera, is I'm just taking a little bit of the excess of that shade off of some of the areas. Just so A, it dries quicker, and B, it's not so heavy. So all I'm doing is laying a cloth this over the item and just dabbing it just so it comes back. So there you go. So let's look at this one next. There we go. And we're going to paint this one and see where we get to. Righty. Oh dear, what's happened to this? Oh, see, this is bad brush admin, where you leave paint on your brush for too long and it goes all crappy. That's what I just did. Never do that, peeps. Righty. Here we go. Let's get some gold out, because I want some gold on that Aquila in the middle there, or this. Here we go. So yeah, does anyone like my arcade idea, by the way? Talking of our general chat topic of today's stream, which is about gaming. Does anyone like my idea of bring back the arcade? Do you know what? There's two things I'd love to bring back is DVD rental stores or VHS rental stores and computer game arcades. They're the two things I'd bring back if I could bring back anything. Like the excitement to go down to the video store on a Friday because, you know, your dad's going to hire out a movie was absolutely epic. I loved Fridays for that. Or a Saturday. So if you're on that one with me on that train, then drop a note in the chat. Oh, Silver's saying joined and posted a few pictures. Oh, nice. That's cool, man. We will have to. I'll jump on after the stream and have a look. Really excited to see your pictures. I mean, I am sure they're absolutely epic. You know, they'll sort of outclass what I am doing here without a shadow of a doubt. But it's a different different reason, different style, right? Here we go. Doing the edges of that. Righty. I just need to do that little sort of, what is it? I've forgotten what they're called. You know, like not a banner, but like a banner when they put it across something. So they normally have writing, and it normally has the name of the dreadnought across it. So I just want to give that a colour. I don't often paint these white. I normally paint these in a sort of creamy colour. I don't like to do a lot of white on my models, if I'm honest. I don't find white looks great, and even the whites I do use for my Sisters of Battle, I use like a grey white, purely because it just looks far better. Again, a white just doesn't look real. So I go for a slightly different approach, and that's what I'm doing on this one. This isn't a grey white, this is a like a more creamy white. So this is Rathbone. So if you know your Citadel colours, that is what this is. A little bit of Rathbone. It's actually still slightly damp, this model. What I could do with doing is just getting the old heat gun out quickly and just buzzing that over just to dry the model out a bit, because it is a little bit sticky still to touch. So I'm trying to be ever so careful. Where and how I'm holding this. Sorry, painting out of screen again. Okay. So what colour do we want these little missile tips to be? I think they'll probably be red, right? So let's find ourselves some red. We're going to go for Mephiston red on this one as well. So slightly darker red. Is it the darker red? No, it's not, is it? It's not corn red. This is slightly brighter red, sorry. So we'll use a bit of that for these missile tips. Whoop. Excuse me throwing the model around. Again, in this with these little tiny circles like this, quite often it's good to get your geek glasses out. They just help you find the right place with the brush rather than struggling to view it at this sort of level. You get to see it nice and close up. There we go. So what are we saying here? There's an arcade in Horsham, but all the machines are free to play. You just pay for time on the door. What? Where is this? Optimus, you're going to have to tell me where this is. What's the name of this place? I never knew there was an arcade in Horsham. So that's pretty cool. I'd love to go there. Well, once you won a golden demon, you just tend to paint in that style all the time. What? Silver Scratch, you've won a golden demon. Are you kidding me? Gee whiz, man. That's cray-cray. And you're on my channel? Whoa, I'm privileged to have you here. Have a great day. I'm off to the movie to see Superman. Have a great one, Silver Scratch. Appreciate you joining us, bro. Golden demon. One day, I may sit there and try and paint for something like that, but that is a hell of an achievement. Wowee. Yeah, for now I'm just going to stick at my level and do what I'm doing right now. You know, I don't think I'm going to go golden demon just yet. Gee whiz. Right, that's the front little bit done. I don't think we'll put too much more on this. I just want something nice, quick and fast on that. Have we got any other bits that are dry-ish to paint? I reckon we might be able to get away with painting a bit of this. So we want some silver in here. Let's shake up the silver. Crikey, golden demon player. A golden demon. Oh. That's insane. That's insane. Taking off a little bit of the excess of that. I was a bit lavish with the Drakenhof shade. I got a little bit excited, I think. I put way too much on, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just nice and quick, getting this silver on there, onto the little bits and bobs. Trying to avoid all those areas that I really heavily painted in that contrast. Oh dear. What a silly boy I am. But to be fair, this will come out alright. I know it looks a bit dodge right now, but it will come out looking okay. So this is going to be quite a nice little transformation from... I should have taken a photo of it at the start actually. So it'd be quite nice to see what it looked like then against what it looks like when it's done. What I might do is I might go back on this video and just take a couple of pictures of what it looks like, what it looked like originally. So we've got that for reference, because I think this is going to be quite a dramatic difference when it is done. So yeah, so it's going to be good. Go. Well, we're coming to the end of the stream, guys. I've stopped talking a little bit because I'm losing my voice. I don't want to lose it completely, so... We have had a bit of disaster today with the cameras going all kaput, so that really fluffed things up. But we persevered and we continued nonetheless. So apologies if today's stream was not up to the usual standards we hold here on Minis and Muscles. 'Twasn't intentional. The technology got us. I'll be investigating why the bloody video capture card gave up, because that's all it was. The video capture card gave up, so the laptop couldn't recognise the incoming video. It just kept on cutting in and out, which makes absolute sense, right? Some more silver. So I reckon silver's probably going to be the second biggest colour on this model, to be fair. There's going to be a lot of it. Don't worry, I know, although I'm going over the edges here on some of the bits, I will be covering that with black. So it will look okay in the long run. Don't panic. Right, there's that little canister at the back done. Let's do this one here. Oh, sorry, again, out of shot. Apologies. Go. There we are, that's not too bad. Nice and quick. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. That's not what we're going for. Next colour we'll get probably onto this arm will be black. So for a lot of the casings and things like that. So the this ejection opening, oh god, out of the camera. This ejection opening here, for example, where the rounds will come out, we'll put that in black. We'll put this box in black. Get that done. Righty, okay. There's silver down on that. What about this arm over here? So we've got a flamer over this side. And a lot of that naughty Drakenhof shade mix. Oh dear, this is coming out looking real bad so far. It will come together and I know it, but crikey, you know when you do something you're like, oh no, this is terrible. Just hoping that this comes together in the way I envisage it in my head. Hopefully it will. As I'm going through this, I'm like, oh my god, this is so shit. Right. Probably going to have to call it there, to be fair. Just because of the time, because it's what, 4 minutes past 9 already. JPC, mould lines equals Boardsville, yeah. I don't think the person that had this model before me, I don't think they did the mould lines whatsoever. They just painted it. So it's got some really bad mould lines on this bad boy. But we got there. Right, let's move that out of the way. Let's move that down. Woof. Thanks guys for staying with me. Oh, today's show was a bit of a manic one, if I'm honest. So I apologise for the quality of today's stream. This is not a usual Minis and Muscles style-y. Actually, generally speaking, we're a lot better than this. It just happens, happens to be that the camera actually failed. Well, the camera didn't fail, the camera's still on. But the video card collapsed on us, so that messed a lot of things up. So the camera went all crazy. Then I had this like innate sort of urge to rush because I felt like we hadn't done any painting. I missed out loads of things on the stream, so I missed out our hobby horror moment, but I'll do that next week, it's not a problem. Didn't talk about half the things I should have talked about retro gaming and gaming, so I'm so sorry. It's been a bit of a rubbish one, right? So I'm hanging my head in shame here. Turn that off. So I apologise to you. If you're a first-time viewer of Minis and Muscles, I double apologise because I'm not normally like this. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you for hanging in there, listening to me drone on about crap, trying to fix the camera, trying to speed paint a model as fast as I can, and it all goes wrong. Steve has a beta on. Stream is as it should be. Don't worry about cameras. Oh, yeah. I've got the vest. I've got the good old vest on with the rhino on there. Yeah, he's there. So that is the theme of Minis and Muscles, to have a gym vest on. So appreciate it, JVC. Thanks, bro. Thank you to every single one of you that joins. Thank you to everybody that watches, that tunes in, that comments, that says hello, that says goodbye. that joins in the conversation, that gives me a load of stick for my models or has enthusiasm for it. People that jump in on the Discord, thank you. It keeps me going every week, it really does. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like the video when it comes out. Comment on the video. It would do a real big favour if you could. Helps with the algorithm. Just like when people chat in the chat on the live stream, that helps the algorithm. As soon as people start chatting, you get loads of people that join. So do keep on doing all that good stuff. Share Minis-N-Muscles with your friends. I would love to bring more people on board. It would be absolutely mega to have even more of you wonderful peeps watching and chatting. But for now, thank you. As always, thank you very much. You have been watching Minis-N-Muscles, the place where the brawn meets the brush. It is Friday. We have had a wonderful time geeking. Make sure you spend time this weekend geeking out, doing your hobbies, doing some fitness, having something for the body and the mind. And I will see you all very, very soon next week. If I don't see you in the meantime in the Discord, take it easy, stay safe, geek it up. Much love to you all. See you soon.
Minis-N-Muscles, we're heroes, right? The dying world's still body skies. Crushing head, where power we fight. Strength that breaks you, night in the night. Where the brawn meets the brush. The story's told in this land of imagination mode. With every stroke, adventures unfold. Minis-N-Muscles, heart and soul. Guidance in hand and worlds to explore. Roll the future, hear the dice roar. Gaming realms of muscles drawn. Together in this place where we belong. Doting spells, casting dreams until the dawn. Leveling up and the world to follow. With painted heroes shining bright. Venturing on.